All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. Rupert Murdoch steps down as Fox chairman.
All right, we have breaking news right now. Rupert Murdoch has now announced he is stepping down as the chairman of Fox Corporation and Fox News. Let me bring in CNN senior media reporter Oliver Darcy for more on this. It's been a long-awaited question of what his plans were for the future, what his succession plan was. This is a big news today.
This is huge news. Rupert Murdoch telling employees that he's stepping down as chairman of Fox Corporation and also News Corporation, which is his publishing arm. He wrote to employees saying he's in good health, but now is the time to step down. I want to read to you part of the note that just went out to employees moments ago. It says here on my phone, the time is right for me to take on different roles, knowing that we have truly talented teams and a passionate principal leader in Lachlan, his son, who will become the chairman of both companies. And of course, Rupert Murdoch is one of the most powerful media moguls in the world. Fox News, everyone's familiar with it. It is arguably the strongest organ in the right-wing media ecosystem. It propped up Donald Trump for many years. I think most people would suggest that Donald Trump was strongly protected, obviously, by Fox News, and this is Rupert Murdoch's, biggest media company, and so he controls all this. So him stepping down will obviously have not only impact in the media world, but also in the political world. Kate,
I'm just looking at this memo letter that you kindly forwarded to me. Just looking at even just the second graph of this, neither excessive pride nor false humility are admirable qualities, but I'm truly proud of what we have achieved collectively through the decades, and I owe much of my colleagues whose contributions to our success have sometimes been unseen outside the company, but are deeply appreciated by me. I mean, this is real. I mean, this is like the swan song. This is his farewell to the company. And interestingly, talk to me about Lachlan and what this now means as he now takes on officially a very huge role.
Yeah, this is real life succession. So Lachlan Murdoch has been the chief executive of Fox, of these companies. But now he's going to take on this role as chairman and really lead it officially. He's now leading the companies without his father at his side. I think most.
Listen, man, it's impossible not to do a Succession reference because it's like a direct one-to-one comparison to what happened. I mean, it's not a direct one-to-one comparison. It's obviously embellished and it's like different. Like the moving parts are a little different, but like very similar to like Roger Ailes, Rupert Murdoch, their influence in general. Like,
most people, Lachlan has been.
I mean, it's based off of that. Like, Logan Roy is based off of Rupert Murdoch. It's a very good show. I like it.
Chief executive, but most people would still say that Rupert was really the one making the major calls behind the scenes when it comes to things. But now Lachlan is in the driver's seat, and he has come out on top. There was a lot of questions over the years who would take over these companies. Initially, it seemed
absolutely.
like James Murdoch, the other son, would take over. Then Lachlan came in and became chief executive, and now Lachlan is the one who is the heir apparent.
Dude, I want to know the back and forth so bad. God, I am a fucking lame ass dude. I swear to God, the only reason why I want to know is because of the Succession drama. Like, if it wasn't for Succession, I wouldn't need to desperately know what happened behind closed doors. But due to Succession, I'm like, oh man, I want to know who I'm the eldest boy, I'm daddy's. You're not daddy's candy baby.
Not the heir apparent, the heir.
Now the man that it will be in charge. Yeah. What does this say, and what do you think this will portend for this massive media company, for the direction that is Fox News? He is not just any media mogul.
I heard they're closing up shop, dude. They're making it woke now. Lachlan is woke. He's making a woke turn. There is a unwinding. There's like a polar shift happening, okay, where Fox is going to be the woke network and MSNBC and CNN are going to be right wing now.
He had a strong hand in the direction things took and the people that were put in charge, like the era of Roger Ailes.
Right. I think if someone like James Murdoch, the son who tends to be more liberal on things, were to come into power, I think that would mean major changes are coming to the companies. But
it's so crazy because people are like, who cares? Like, this is just television. Like, man, do you know the global power that these fucking dipshits have? Like, you know how we look at hogs in Australia, right? We're like, oh man, how funny that like they're just like us. It's like that didn't materialize out of nowhere, okay? Someone had to hogify them. That's it. Like, these Fox News's impact is mostly due to Roger Ailes, okay? Rupert Murdoch's impact, on the other hand, is global. Do you get it? Like, his role in beefing up global capitalism and like creating like a steady propaganda outlet for global capitalism goes far beyond Fox News. Okay?
But with Lachlan Murdoch, I think he's much more aligned probably with his father's vision. He's said to be very conservative on a lot of things. And so I'm not sure how much of a change editorially you'll see, but certainly there's going to be some change. You know, Lachlan is not his father. And so what that looks like, I don't know. I can't tell you right now. But I would imagine that someone new coming in, taking the throne, that is going to lead to some change.
It's so interesting because even in this letter, he takes a shot at the elites, which is always a fascinating kind of juxtaposition because he's the definition of a media elite. You could very clearly say, but he also ends this with talking about in my new role. Is there any word of what new role he's talking about? Like, this is not him going into, but is this effectively he is going into retirement, or he's taking on a different project from here on out?
I don't think anyone's ever going to say that Rupert Murdoch is going into retirement. I don't think that's something that he's capable, those words he's not capable of uttering, but I do think this is as close as we're probably going to get to him announcing that he is stepping down. I mean, he is announcing he's stepping down from these roles. I mean, he's 92, so
his new role, the grave. Evil never dies, chat. You're forgetting. Evil never dies. These motherfuckers don't die, man. Bro, dude, it's so funny that we're having this conversation about Rupert Murdoch when, like, he was slated to get married, like, last year and called off the arrangement because her fiance was insanely into Tucker Carlson. Okay? Like, this is not a regular old 92-year-old man, okay? This is a demon. He is extending his lifespan by suckling on the greatest adrenochrome, okay? What do I mean by this? Like, Joseph Robinette Biden, he gets, like, the shittiest babies to suckle on, okay? Like, baby spinal fluid. Everybody knows at this point, it's well established that that's how you get adrenochrome, right? Joe Robinette Biden only gets to eat, like, the worst baby spinal fluid. Rupert Murdoch gets top shelf, okay? Like, Rupert Murdoch is getting aborted fetuses that were slated to become global leaders, okay? That kind of spinal fluid. That keeps you going, okay? Like, Brandon's getting the worst babies, you know? Like, babies with, like, fucked vibes, you know what I mean? Babies who don't cover their face when they're sneezing, like that kind of baby. Not a good baby whose spinal fluid is going to yield tremendous results. Anyway, let's continue.
While people say he is in great health, he has had some health scares over the years, and I imagine that even if you're an incredibly healthy 92-year-old, you know, running these companies is a huge task, and so you need someone who's able to devote, you know, the full attention that it takes to run these massive media companies. And he's saying that he's going to hand that off to Lachlan.
Look, and you've done so much reporting over the years of just kind of, I keep wanting to call it the succession, but it really is that. It's not just that amazing series of kind of how he had for years tried to groom his sons and like put them in positions. I remember the stories about, it was either Lachlan or James that he would put in as like an internship. They put him in internships in the various companies, and the headlines that would come out from it when one of them was seen as falling asleep on the job or something. And just kind of what it is a family affair. for the Murdochs and what it has also done to this family.
Yeah, and the Empire used to be a lot bigger, right? I mean, Rupert sold a lot of the Empire to Disney, you know, the movie studio. And so now the Empire that Lachlan will be taking hold of is still very powerful. It still has Fox News, you know, the Wall Street Journal, some very powerful entities in it, but it's not the big entertainment company that this once was. It is now mostly a news company and a sports company. They do Fox Sports, obviously, but it's not the big media giant it was. And so while he is taking over, I think that it's not necessarily the throne, the empire isn't as big as it once was, right?
There's so much, there's going to be a lot of reaction coming in and a lot of wonder of, you know, what now happens if there are already questions left now that we know that Lachlan is in charge. Stick around. I know you've got more reporting to come, so thank you so much.
Attorney General Merrick.
How could someone be a chairman at a fucking 90 years old at a multi-billion-dollar media company? I don't get it. It's almost like being a chairman, and I don't mean like Chairman Mao, okay? Because being a chairman of a socialist republic or, you know, a transitional socialist state with Chinese characteristics, like that takes a lot, okay? That takes a lot. Being a chairman of a fucking, you know, being the chairman, though, on you know, dumbass capitalist corporation doesn't take too much. You could be 92 and be perfectly fine. What? A battle of wits with Raytheon employee that killed his family versus Hog Cop? Oh my God. God. There's like so much crime. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, let's abolish crime. Like let's not do it anymore. And I'm like, well, we can't have these like sick ass detective videos. If that was the case, you know what I'm saying?
Garland strongly defended the Justice Department at a fiery hearing yesterday. Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee pummeled the handling of investigations under Hunter Biden into also former President Donald Trump. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge has more on Garland's response.
So help you God.
In forceful testimony, Attorney General Merrick Garland made his position clear from the start.
I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor.
While the Republican-led House Judiciary Committee took a combative approach, accusing the Justice Department's special counsel investigations of targeting a former president and going easy on the current president and his son.
There's one investigation protecting President Biden. There's another one attacking President Trump.
The hearing largely centered on special counsel David Weiss, who has led the probe into Hunter Biden for nearly 5 years. The president's son now faces felony gun charges and potential tax crimes after a plea deal fell apart this summer.
Even with the face-saving indictment last week of Hunter Biden, everyone knows the fix is in.
An IRS whistleblower who took contemporaneous notes of a key meeting last year told Congress and CBS News that Weiss claimed that he was not the deciding person on charges. In recent closed-door testimony, some investigators on the case said they could not recall that statement. On Wednesday, Garland testified Weiss has always had total authority.
I left it to Mr. Weiss whether to bring charges or not.
While Democrats blasted the Republican investigations into the Biden family as politically motivated.
This committee has also been transformed into a soapbox for political conspiracy theorists, instead of focusing on the really important issues that the American people care about.
On Wednesday, a federal judge in Delaware found that Hunter Biden must appear in person to face felony gun charges on October 3rd. His lawyer had argued for a virtual appearance, citing security costs and logistics, but the judge said Hunter Biden must be treated like other defendants. Tony.
We have heard that line before. Catherine, thank you very much.
That entire subject is so fucking stupid. Like, across the board. So stupid. I don't know what else to say about it. Okay. Yeah, rich people famously get treated like everyone else. Didn't they lose their shit over Mueller and he didn't even charge Trump? It's just, I don't know. Republican debates are next week. How many people are going to be on stage this time? We'll see. And it's in my backyard, as a matter of fact, in motherfucking Simi Valley, I think, in the Ronald Reagan or Richard Nixon Library. One of those places. It's so stupid. Yeah.
Now to the latest on a potential government shutdown. Still no deal for a spending bill to keep the government running as the clock ticks down to a deadline. Senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott is tracking it all for us on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, still no deal. And with just 10 days to go, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is now floating a new proposal, but he is still facing stiff opposition from Democrats in the Senate and even members of his own party.
Overnight, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy emerging from a tense 2-hour meeting, insisting Republicans are inching toward a proposal to avoid a government shutdown.
We're very close there. I feel I just got a little more movement to go there.
Sources tell ABC News McCarthy's new plan would fund the government for 30 days with some spending cuts, establish a debt commission, and enact stricter border policies.
How confident are you that we will avert this government shutdown?
Look, I don't know if any of you ever played sports. Did you quit before the game was over? I'm going to stay with it and solve the problem.
But that proposal is a non-starter in the Senate, where Democrats are in control.
We're 1/2 of the decision-making process, but we act as though we can impose our will on the entire Congress, and we just simply can't do that.
And it may not even be enough to satisfy McCarthy's far-right critics in the House.
Do you believe that Speaker McCarthy is an effective leader?
No, obviously. We're 8 months into his speakership, and we're stuck in the mud.
If Congress does not act in the next 10 days, more than 4 million government workers could go unpaid.
We should exhaust all options before heading into a shutdown.
As McCarthy fights to keep Republicans together, former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi saying this is no way to run Congress.
Nothing is playing out except chaos.
And with time running out, a group of Democrats and Republicans are now trying to work together on a bipartisan solution, but it's unclear what will win over those hard-right conservatives in the House. They will need their votes to avoid this government shutdown, Robin.
They will. All right. Rachel, thank you. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Why would I watch you react to anything when you're looking at your phone most of the time? Something I've noticed a lot recently. Yes, man. It's because there's a lot going on in the background, okay? I have to do a bunch of different things. Also, ultimately, I'm a GMA fan, and Robin Roberts is my GOAT. But so when the government shuts down, China takes over, yes, both of these stories are fucking silly. It's just more so, you know, things that you need to know. Like, I don't know what to add as far as feedback goes. You know what I mean? It's like one of those situations where it's an ongoing issue, right? Which I cover. I cover issues that are happening, right? But there's not really too much I can say about it, especially because I covered it extensively yesterday, and there are no new updates. And I've covered it extensively the last time it happened, and the last time it happened, and the last time it happened, and the last time it happened. I've noticed smarmy chatters putting a hustle at the end of their snarky comments to avoid getting banned. It's fine. It works, okay? So I don't know what else to say about it beyond, I don't know, look to yesterday's commentary. But it's also an ongoing issue. So, like, you know, both of these stories that I just covered or are just looked at, right, had minor updates, marginal updates, okay? Both of those stories that we just looked at, I covered for an hour each almost yesterday. So what do? Like, what should I do? What can I do? Do you want me to give you more additional commentary on it? Like, I've already talked about this so fucking much. There's no, like, real updates, but also at the same time, it's like, it's a brief 4 minutes that you saw me not give too much feedback because I gave 2 hours of feedback on both of those issues yesterday. What am I supposed to do?
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer recently relaxed the unwritten dress code for what U.S. senators can or can't wear inside the Senate chamber. That rule changes.
Chatters be demanding. I mean, just wait. I'm speculating that chatters will eventually. Did you actually live over? No, it's not real. Chatters will eventually come in here and be like, Hassan is actually a defender of Nazi Germany, shit like that. That hasn't happened yet. Maybe because we banned every single person that says idiotic shit like that.
Is being criticized
chirping
by
in their own echo
congressional
chambers.
Republicans. Brian Todd is covering the story for us. Brian, what's the latest?
Wolf, today, Democratic Senator John Fetterman gave us a jarring image. He presided over the Senate wearing a short-sleeve shirt.
A jarring image. This is awesome. A jarring image. It's fucked up. It's pretty funny. You have a black string on your collar? Oh, yeah. It's pretty funny because, like, these Republicans especially, they love acting like they're not entitled, liberal, aesthetics-focused dummies. who fucking lose their shit and love owning they love owning the aesthetics focused libs, right? Like, and then they're the ones who are going crazy over these like norms, these social norms, the dress code. Like, how are you gonna fucking present yourself as an everyman and then get mad that like this dude is dressed up exactly like every single one of your fucking fans? Come on. Anyway, what's the fucking police chase? Give it to me. I'll take a look at it. Fuck it. I'll take a look at the police chase. Where is it? There's a car chase happening. It's fucking crime time. Crime is back. God damn, y'all are ready for it. Ooh, what the fuck? Wait.
Continue into downtown up the 110.
What's up with the fucking car?
So, this is an area that is familiar to so many folks. We're passing where University of Southern California is located. We are now approaching...
This should be... Wait, what the fuck? Bro, this is literally... Oh my God. If Ethan and I kept debating, I would be in this right now.
Folks are where we are headed, but as we also head
I'm not even kidding. Like,
you also usually run into some pretty serious traffic, and that is what is now happening. They just
whoa! What did he throw?
I don't know what that was.
Gun?
Just threw out the window.
Gun?
Maybe we can try to
right
replay that and slow that down and figure out what that was.
I haven't heard or seen if that was if the suspect in this Grand Theft Auto was armed or anything, or they just threw out some junk out the window. But you definitely know they'll be picking that up. Those trailing units in the back there will be picking that up as evidence to find out exactly what was out there.
Because it gets fucking annoying, okay, sometimes. That's probably why you got timed out, but we're still watching it, okay? Calm down. It's okay. You got timed out. It's not the end of the fucking world.
An area, Kevin. We've got some freeway options here. Stay on the 110 northbound. Get off the 10 freeway, go to the east or to the west, or even get off on surface streets. We talked about this kind of being closer to where the whole pursuit began. I might have thought the suspect would exit the freeway, and maybe they're doing that right now.
An animal in
Are
the
we
car,
doing a
which
freeway transition, Kevin?
hopefully, as far as distractions are concerned, that's one less distraction that this driver has. Although, with
there's
the
an animal in the
open,
car.
with the flag outside, throwing weapons out of the vehicle. It's just hard to say what's going through this suspect's mind at this time.
Well, that was a massive development when the weapon came out of the vehicle, because we had. As Colleen had mentioned before, a lot of this was alleged
what is this
armed
flag?
Suspect. We had known why authorities were potentially chasing them, but we didn't know if there was actually an armed suspect in the vehicle. But having watched the person throw a weapon out of the vehicle, that went a little bit beyond alleged. So we
Pan-African is like, I thought it was like it could be Ghana, which ironically it could be Kurdish too.
Not just standing back and letting this person drive in a surveillance mode, because this was an armed suspect, and it is likely they knew this, which is one of the reasons probably that they just have not given up control of this.
Ghana
chase.
60 seconds.
Again, because it's on the freeways so many times.
Could be Lithuania, maybe? I don't fucking know.
It's a CHP chase. The only time we've seen a CHP officer was on the 110 at the end of the carpool lane when they had kind of stopped.
Why, ironically, because
that's when the suspect took off and got back on.
Immediately, as soon as I see the Ghana flag, I think of the one time that Turkish ultranationalists burned a flag of Ghana,
there's so many people that
thinking that it was a Kurdish flag, and then Ghana Twitter got real fucking mad at it,
and because that,
and we're like, "Fuck you! Why are you fucking burning our flag, bitch?"
You kind of, it's just an unusual. It's like sort of a slow-moving pursuit. Even though I know that they're going with the flow of traffic, but many times we see these pursuit suspects going in the triple digits. So.
Well, this suspect, beyond the speed, it's the.
This is a great color scheme, actually.
Over 4 or 5 lanes in one
great
move,
color scheme overall.
Shoulder,
big fan.
Splitting lanes, going back and forth. So even though he's not been going very fast, he's been dangerous. I'm
wondering where he's going to end up. I mean, are they going to continue on the one?
I appreciate it. Trinrek, thank you for the 5 gifted.
And you don't know, by the way, when we're talking about, we don't exactly know where this alleged armed robbery may have taken place. But we don't know if there's a victim out there who was injured during this. But we know something triggered this call.
Yeah, I mean, we know it originated near Vernon. Yeah, go
just
ahead.
to give you guys some additional information here, LAPD is telling us now that this may have been a Grand Theft Auto situation where this may be a stolen vehicle. So that may be why LAPD may be staying so close alongside this vehicle, because if it wasn't a stolen vehicle, then they would be able to use the license plate to be able to track down a suspect and so on and so forth. But if this is someone who may have used a weapon to commandeer this vehicle, then that
they're not
gives
gaining.
LAPD
He's slowing down. I don't know why.
A little bit more of a reason to stay close with this suspect and understand that this is possibly a violent person, although it's definitely a good sign that at least one weapon we've seen and we've been able to confirm was thrown out of the vehicle as we continue westbound on this 10 freeway. And looking ahead out the helicopter window, it is, Thursday, almost.
I'm just legitimately shocked that the Los Angeles Police Department is actually trying to stop a crime.
So this driver, really picked kind of the best freeway in the Southland that this guy could just cruise along at about 65, 70 miles an hour. And you have to wonder if this driver has some kind of message to deliver. If this person, with the flag and all of that sort, may be just wanting to, cruise alongside and continue on in a pursuit.
As someone from LA, you're this shocked? No, it's reverse commute. That's why. The I-10, especially around here, is very empty going in one direction at all times during the day.
City, in the westbound direction, we're going to go through Culver City, the 405. We've been on the 405 before, so it'll be interesting to see if this suspect continues.
Why does every car chase happen in LA?
Towards LAX, towards the South Bay, or if we continue northbound and go to a place where we haven't yet been in this pursuit, towards Brentwood, the Sepulveda Pass, and the San Fernando Valley. But this is certainly an interesting one. This driver could be going faster. This driver is, driving a little more calm.
I told Murat just showed up. I told him there's a car chase right where he was.
So you have to wonder, what's the point? Is this person just enjoying?
He said, "Do you want me to go and get him?"
That they may have, or do they have some other motives? Something else that they want to do here. Maybe in situations in the past you've seen.
Oh, the question was, why does this happen in LA? Because Los Angeles is one of the few places where they do have an active chase policy, whereas in many other places, they don't have that. Which is ironic because that's not what you would say if there was, if crime was truly free. You know what I mean? And yes, the reason is because it is infinitely safer to not fucking give chase to a suspect with a cop car. It's infinitely safer to just let them run away and then do actual police work and investigation to figure out where they went. But that's why, because it's so much more dangerous. There's plenty of innocent people that get killed in the crossfire. They get caught up in the crosshairs in general. And also, I think because LAPD is content brained, yes. It's also ironic because the LAPD is fucking dog shit at recovering a stolen vehicle. So I don't know how the fuck they're just they love doing the car chase, but they hate actually recovering stolen vehicles.
As far as guarding how close people get to this pursuit, they don't seem to be that interested in keeping people too far away from this pursuit. Which maybe because that weapon was tossed, that gives them some reason to believe that this suspect maybe is a little less dangerous. But it's hard to kind of move forward with that logic, because you always have to, and most law enforcement agencies always have to treat these situations as someone that could be very dangerous. As you see there,
bro, this dude wants to be seen.
With the flag a little bit, it appears to be attached to maybe the rearview mirror, and that's what's holding
it's
it on.
Mercedes.
And he's also kind of fiddling around to the inside there, maybe.
Or wait, no, is it a Honda? Is it a Genesis?
We can see a little bit of a phone there through the tinted
windows. Or is it a Mercedes, chat?
This person may be texting, calling people.
Is it BMW?
As we continue, westbound on the 10, We're just about in Culver City right now, passing National Boulevard, and we're going to hit the 405. There's no traffic between here and the 405. This guy can continue on as we get a little bit pretty close to a bus there, but doesn't
It's
seem
a Mercedes.
to impact this driver at all.
Just lucky. You called it a moment
Very
ago.
lucky.
Very, very lucky. For all of us who have to navigate these freeways on the daily, it's amazing to see how lucky this driver has gotten by choosing this freeway.
Well, he's also heading back
all
in
the freeways in the Southland.
And he's heading back in the direction of familiarity because he was on the 405 at one point. So he may be. We've seen chases continue into areas that they're familiar with.
This is not a regular chase. I feel like this dude's got additional.
Been on the 405.
He's got some other shit going on, I think.
Now on the 10, on the 105. So basically, this is now heading back in the general direction.
Also, I'm not even joking. Like, this is literally like, motherfucker. This motherfucker is like taking my commute right now, ruining my fucking commute.
Down. And again, this is a grand theft auto, but we also saw a weapon tossed from the window, so it could have been a carjacking as well. There's so much that we don't know other than the fact that this person is not pulling over and LAPD is not giving up on this chase.
Yeah, Philip. Sorry, we're monitoring a couple of different things on the radio here. But, you know, we're continuing in the westbound direction here, very close, maybe a mile out from the 405.
You don't have a job?
This driver's going to reach a decision-making point, kind of flirting with that right lane there. If the driver gets in that right lane, that will mean that this guy will continue in the southbound direction on the 405. It looks like he's slowing down. We're really slowing the pace down of this pursuit. Now LAPD is starting to keep traffic back, although we may see some cars just because they're approaching so fast, they may be able to pass this this guy on the left side, and it looks like this guy's going to continue on the 10 westbound. So we're passing at least the ramp that allows you to go onto the southbound 405, which, you know, looking at the traffic on that southbound 405.
There's no way this many people still don't know that, like, I actually fucking do leftovers on Thursdays, right? And was, like, driving literally on this fucking road. Like, literally on this road. Like, an hour ago. Like, there's no fucking shot. There's 0% chance that, like, people are this oblivious
of our streaming coverage of this. Eyewitness News at 4 o'clock is about to get underway, and we have to do a couple of things here in studio to get that ready. So the chase continues, and Gabe Santos is going to keep you updated here on the stream. But then don't forget to join us for Eyewitness News at 4 o'clock here in a moment.
All right, thank you, Philip and Colleen, and thank you for joining us. If you're with us on ABC7.com and our ABC7 streaming apps and platforms, we've been following this pursuit of a robbery suspect, a possibly armed robbery suspect. Well, we know they were armed at some point because at about 10 minutes ago in this pursuit, we saw the suspect toss a gun out the window. We don't know if there's any other weapons in the vehicle.
This is a Thomas Sankara fan driving over to tell Ethan in person, like, anti-imperialist Marxist-Leninist sentiments. Like, he's just like, Hassan didn't do a good job, so I'm driving over there to fucking let you know, like, in person, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, I'm a Pan-African nationalist.
Passing Slauson, monitoring a couple items of radio traffic here. And the suspect then went southbound on the 110, westbound on the 105, southbound on the 405, back northbound on the 110, and now we've been on the 10 westbound for quite some time here, not going very fast, kind of keeping speeds under 50 miles an hour, and now we're coming up on an exit here. This is the Sawtell exit in the Santa Monica area, and this driver is at the point of no return here, getting off the 10 freeway. I'm a little surprised at this because the 10 freeway is completely clear all the way to the coast. This guy could have been able to drive for miles without having any issues as far as traffic goes. But now this pursuit may get a little bit more dangerous because we're on Sawtell. Bundy. We're on Bundy. That was the Sawtell off-ramp. And you have vehicles going at a bit slower pace, and it looks like we're going to cross back onto the on-ramp to the eastbound 10 freeway. So, a little bit of an interesting development
dummy,
there.
there's so much more traffic there.
This driver would stay on surface streets, but judging from what we've seen earlier in this pursuit,
the fuck's he doing
on the highway. So, looking at that, it's kind of no surprise that he got back onto the highway. Now we're getting on the eastbound 10. There's a lot of traffic on this eastbound 10, almost all the way towards downtown. This driver will have to make a couple of decisions here. He'll have the option, as you see there, to go on the 405 North or the 405 South, both of which are highly congested right now. This driver has no option but to deal with the congestion in either direction, whether he's going east, south, north, and it looks like he's going to stay on that 10 freeway, at least bypassing the option to go on the 405 North, continuing on the 10 East, and LAPD not letting this one go at all. They haven't given this up to CHP, which again is a little bit interesting because of the amount of time
They
this
always
driver
do
has
this,
been
dude.
on
I wonder why. I don't know
highways.
why.
In a lot of cases such as this, you would see LAPD give this up to CHP.
Yeah,
and
that
then let
part is
CHP
impossible.
Deal with it for the duration.
There's
that the
infinitely,
pursuit
there's
is on
too
highway.
much traffic in
But
it's
you
too
have to
congested.
consider what
I don't know why he
LAPD,
didn't just hit the
may
PCH or
want this
something.
suspect for as we
But-
cross
because
over
I also don't
from
know what
that
he's
far
trying to do.
right lane, and a little bit
I
of
don't know what
aggressive
he's trying to
driving there
do.
as we go into the far left-hand shoulder.
He has a
And we've
flag,
seen this
so I just
behavior
assume
before.
that he's,
This
like,
driver's
trying to
going to
make a
use the
statement or
far
something.
left shoulder along the center median, turn that into a lane, and just continue around a lot of this traffic.
Yemek geldi mi?
It's kind of a blessing in disguise, I would say, because I would be worried to see if this driver gets blocked in, what kind of behavior that would lead to.
You
At
think he
least if
ironed
this
that
driver's
flag?
still
Nobody
moving,
who loves flags irons their flags. Let's
he's
be
not
real.
trying to crash into anybody, which that we've seen in a lot of pursuits.
Did he
where
get
they
the Cyberpunk update so
where
he
the
can shoot
driver
while
gets
driving?
Stuck, they panic,
No,
and they
he didn't
resort
actually. He
to
threw his gun
ramming their
out.
vehicle
I
into
think the
other vehicles.
Cyberpunk
We definitely
update
don't
didn't work
want to
for
see
him
that.
because he
And that is
threw his
just,
gun out accidentally. I think he
what can
ejected
happen
it.
in situations like this. So we're still on this left shoulder
good.
on the 10 eastbound.
Adamsın.
We've passed the 405, and we're going to continue through Culver City, Mid-City, and you never know with these situations. A lot of the time you see these drivers stick to places that they know or start doing circles around places that they know. In this case, this driver has made certain on and off ramp decisions and exit decisions to imply to me that he kind of has a familiarity with at least the South LA area and maybe a bit of the west side. That's just a guess, but with a lot of the decisions he's making, one could believe that that may be the case. Just
What's the amount
monitoring
of
some
time
of the
someone get in
LAPD
jail
radio
for this?
traffic
I don't
here.
know. Long.
As we continue on the 10 eastbound, we have multiple LA.
Yeah, he needs to grab
let's see,
jump.
we have an LAPD helicopter over this. We have a CHP plane over this, which again are all kind of normal procedures with a pursuit like this, staying on the highway. Copy, 2 minutes. Copy that. And just to give you all joining us on the web on our streaming channel, everywhere ABC7 streams, we have Eyewitness News at 4 p.m. coming up on the television, so you'll be able to tune to Channel 7 and see continuing coverage of this pursuit of an armed robbery suspect, possibly armed robbery involving this Mercedes. We believe, at least from the latest word that we've gotten from LAPD, that this Mercedes has been stolen.
Oh, there you go.
And you can see there this pursuit coming, slowing down a little bit behind a white van. The LAPD vehicle right behind him opens the door a little bit, hopefully hoping for an end to this pursuit. But this driver gets a little scared there and scurries around to the right side using the right shoulder there. And there's a lot of traffic to be seen here on the eastbound 10. Really the only option for this driver to continue on is to use the shoulder, and we definitely see this driver doing that. You never know if someone's going to be pulled over on the shoulder. That could be an interesting development as we continue in the eastbound lanes here. And you can see there LAPD staying very close behind this vehicle. I'm going to take a quick pause here. We're getting things ready.
This is literally unimaginably good driving from a Mercedes-Benz driver. You know he stole it, okay? I've never seen a Los Angeles Mercedes-Benz driver drive this responsibly. Do you understand? It does not happen. It has never happened. It will never happen ever again. This is the only time. I think there is a political message behind this. Like, there's something going on here. Look at this. I mean, he's not using his turn signals, which is normal, right? Like, that's how it goes. You never. It's wild that he keeps coming to a full stop, and like those who are unsubscribed will not be able to fucking see what happens unless they subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You know what I'm saying? Use it on your favorite broadcaster, favorite crime reporter. Hopefully that's me. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Dude, I can't even look away. He stopped the sub.
I'm driving. Like right now, we're seeing this driver kind of slow down and go even slower than the pace of some of this very slow traffic. And then we're seeing points where when LAPD gets close, this driver will use some of those shoulders and really kind of drive at high speeds around some of this traffic.
What's he doing?
It looks like... Yeah, it looks like something was thrown out right there, and we've seen that from this suspect before. Earlier, when this driver was on the 110 north,
chat.
we saw the suspect throw a gun out of the window, which checks out with what we believe this
It's
suspect
sick.
to be wanted for, which is possibly an armed robbery. I wasn't able to get a good eye on what that suspect threw out right there. The other interesting thing you have is, obviously, there's a flag hanging out of the sunroof of this stolen Mercedes-Benz. Those colors could equate to a number of different countries, maybe a cause, so we're not going to speculate exactly what that could be from at this point, but definitely makes you wonder exactly what this pursuit driver, what this suspect may want, whether he wants to bring attention to a cause or whether he's just trying to get away at this point.
Wow, and we're seeing very agitated in the car right now.
Yeah, he's moving around a lot. He seems like he's shuffling through some... I mean, it's hard to see through the windshield, but he's doing something right now. He's driving
It's
slowly.
classic. He's cycling through his weapons.
Take care of something in the vehicle that he wants to do. Who knows? Maybe
he's cycling through his weapons, dude.
Evidence.
I don't know.
We don't
know.
The
weapon
wheel.
For
He's definitely
quite
distracted.
some time now, Giovanna, and this is the most agitated this driver has taken on. We know that the sunroof had been open most of the time. The sunroof was just recently closed. We know that the flag, he definitely wants to make sure he's displaying the colors of that flag. We know that. We know that this has originated from an armed robbery suspect. Now, Gabe, did we find out, is this a stolen car?
We believe that to be the case from the latest word we have from LAPD right now, is that this vehicle is stolen.
How do you retrieve those weapons?
Is wanted for possibly
you just like
the
close
grand
off
theft
traffic
auto of this vehicle. So that's the information that
Wait,
we're running with
I
right
wonder-
now. As far as what LAPD is telling us. Check.
All right, Gabe, yeah, we can hear you. And because this is a Grand Theft Auto vehicle, potentially, that's what authorities are telling us. It's possible this flag was on the vehicle when he took the car,
Well,
or I don't know.
Like it's
Colleen,
probably not, because they're so adamant on
Why would
waving
he
the
display
flag
it,
when they're
dog?
driving. And the sun, like I said, the sunroof has been open. The person has been very targeted with their actions by holding that flag a lot and trying to unfurl it when it kind of gets wound up like this. So it leads one to believe that it's intentional.
Is this a political statement then?
Or something. It's intentional to have this flag out. What the statement is they're trying to make, I'm not quite sure.
All right, and now
It's definitely intentional there, guys. You know, you have to wonder what exactly the reasoning is to have that flag out of the sunroof. Earlier we saw the sunroof open, and now we see it closed, so not sure what that means exactly as far as what the driver is going through. I wanted to point out, you know, we saw this driver using the shoulders, using the left shoulder and using the right shoulder,
man.
but on the right shoulder we saw a vehicle actually parked in
They're
those
making my
lanes.
car chases
So this driver
political.
had to get back into traffic, and now he's back into normal lanes, continuing really
Get your politics out of my fucking car
than
chasing,
what.
Chad.
Now he's going a little bit faster than some of the traffic, but I wonder if that's just because some of these drivers hear the lights and see the sirens, and that's why they're kind of going a little bit slower. And what's happening now is all these other drivers are using the shoulder, and they're kind of, making a pathway for this pursuit to get through as people hear it coming towards them, which is really, that's kind of the best thing you can do, is just to get out of the way, stay out of the way, and let this pursuit go past you. But it's very interesting to see, we're well into rush hour now, and this pursuit continuing eastbound on the 10 freeway.
I feel like he's trying to debate them.
Exit.
And traffic
open the
stopping
door
there,
and then
as you
drive
can
away or
see,
something
on the freeway here, and you see 3 patrol units behind him. And I don't know if you noticed, but that officer right behind the suspect's vehicle opened his car door, his driver's side door. Perhaps he thought that was the opportunity to get out, but the suspect then merged over to the right and is now driving between lanes, which we've seen him do before. Earlier in this pursuit, we've seen him change, from 2 to 3, 4 lanes at a time, and then drive in between lanes as well. But he is driving much slower than he was earlier, although to Colleen's point she made earlier, this hasn't really been a high-speed pursuit. He has been following, generally going,
he has,
60, 65 on the freeway.
Right. We see so many high-speed pursuits. And the one other thing, too, this driver seems to flirt with taking an exit, but then never really commits to it and then veers right back onto the freeway. So clearly this driver feels more comfortable driving on the freeway. Not sure if because the driver may not know the certain areas, but again, Giovanni, you and I both, we take these freeways a lot. When you see the police cars coming, you don't necessarily know that they're on a pursuit. You just know you have to get out of the way, especially when you see several police cars and you see their lights and sirens going and you see the helicopters overhead. So again, and you know what, we've been on this pursuit for quite some time. Bruce Thomas, our law enforcement expert, he's joining us now over the phone. Bruce, it's always great for you to join us in these pursuits because we call in your expertise, because this one,
Chat,
every
I
pursuit,
literally
they're
watched
all
cops
different.
almost kill
they have a
someone
lot of
yesterday.
similarities.
What do you
Obviously,
mean?
they're in a car and they're driving, but this driver has not taken the advantage of having these open freeways and really open up that engine of the car. We know it's a fast car. They haven't really been I don't think I've seen this driver go over 65, 70 miles an hour yet on this pursuit. What are you thinking when you're watching this pursuit?
Yeah, like you said, every pursuit is different. They have similarities because they're running from the police. But other than that, in this case, he's kind of obeyed the speed limit. Yeah, he's weaved in and out of traffic, but he hasn't been a danger to the public. So I know it started as a following, and now it's in a full pursuit mode. And that's something that the watch commander is taking into account, is the driver's actions.
Yeah. And Bruce, a question, because sometimes authorities will pull off of a pursuit. Sometimes when they know who the driver is, they have the license plate information. In this case, they're staying close behind. Is it because it is a Grand Theft Auto suspect?
Well, also because there is a robbery of some sort that went down, and the suspect is possibly armed and dangerous. What people don't take into account is the GTA, or Grand Theft Auto, which is taking the vehicle. However, in order to get that felony filing,
this is the title of the
you
video
have to
game.
Alter the vehicle or hide it from the true owner. So basically, taking it like it is now, it's basically like
title
a
card
joyride.
moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we were talking about the weapons. Earlier, we saw the suspect throw a weapon out on the 110. And we know that the suspect also has thrown something else out. We didn't get a good eye on what that suspect threw out on the freeway. But again, police are not giving up on this. This is not going into the CHP area. I know we're approaching La Brea right now on the 110 on the 10. So this is a highly traveled area. But why do you think the CHP, since this has stayed on the freeway the whole time, why isn't the CHP taking over this pursuit?
LAPD may not be relinquishing control at this point. In other words, basically through mutual aid, they have not requested CHP as the speeds are not higher and the suspect is not on the freeway doing crazy things.
Yeah. So what is the strategy at this point? To wait it out, to follow this person and see and wait for an opportunity to maybe conduct a pit maneuver, or hopefully he stops? What do authorities look at?
Well, right now they're going to stay behind this suspect, and they do believe that he or she or the vehicle will eventually pull off the freeway, maybe go back to the area.
Pronouns!
However, in this case, you're on the
Stop calling Diana's!
They're going to run into some major traffic as they approach downtown. So at this point, there's really no need to do anything but just follow.
Yeah, and as we've been noticing in the past, the LAPD taking a much more cautious approach to a lot of pursuits, calling them off if they need to, if they become too dangerous.
California
we know that the suspect
shit.
did have a weapon. They threw it out their window. We don't know if they have any more than one weapon. But as of right now, the way that this pursuit is going, it seems like they are just going to stay on it. They're not going to call this one off.
Yeah, the studies have shown the last couple of years the uninvolved third-party traffic collisions due to pursuits has gone up. And so that's part of the risk management of a pursuit, is weighing the safety of not only the officers and the public, the suspect too, but we take all that into account.
Yeah, well, for good reason, obviously. Again, the suspect's going to be getting into the slow lane. Never know if they're going to take an exit, because they haven't taken an exit yet. They haven't done surface streets. So we don't actually know exactly the location where this car may have been stolen.
Yeah, we don't know that, but we do know that this started about 3 o'clock. And as Gabe Santos was telling us, this suspect led police on a chase throughout South Los Angeles. And onto several freeways. He was on the 105, the 405, the 110, now on the 10 freeway. And then there's that puzzling piece to all of this, that flag. What do you make of this, Bruce? Any idea? And now we see him exiting.
Because I've watched so many car chases, do I have a meta? Yes.
We were trying to, I was on
dirt bikes.
I was talking with your assignment desk, and we were trying to figure out what flag it is, because I know that there have been some protests recently in the last couple of days involving some various countries in the Russian area. But in this case, we couldn't figure it out, and I don't know what the purpose of that flag is. It's obviously some political statement.
Crowded mall area.
I don't think anybody understands what that statement is except the suspect.
Bruce, I want to ask you one more question. Does the strategy change as he's exiting the freeway and onto surface streets? But right now, let's address what's happening right now. We're seeing officers exit the vehicle. Nope, now they're getting back in the car and they're continuing to follow. Does the strategy change? Does the danger level increase on the surface streets?
Yeah, great question. As we go onto the streets, the pit maneuver comes into
play.
Look
at this. He just threw something to someone right there. He gave somebody something.
Yeah.
What?
And now I don't think the police know that yet. What? Because that one gentleman with the white shirt that was at the corner took something from that suspect. The suspect threw something to him. So, Gabe, you're right there.
I would hope that they would stop it.
Bruce, 1 second right there. Gabe, did you get an idea of what was thrown to that person on the side of the freeway?
We're going the other way. Going the other way, Josh. So it was definitely hard to tell what was exchanged between the person on the sidewalk and the driver, but we do know that the air unit, the LAPD air unit overhead, did see what.
Bro, cops are blind, dog. I swear to God.
And we're seeing some very aggressive driving as we're going northbound now on Crenshaw Boulevard, now on the wrong side of the road. This is some extreme driving, hitting almost 80 miles an hour here, continuing northbound. We were using that median lane, and now we're back on the right side of the lane. Now this driver's hopefully slowing down a little bit, going through hopefully that intersection had a green light, and now we're hitting some traffic. So we're slamming on the brakes and going back onto the shoulder here. There's a parked car. We're going to go onto the sidewalk now.
What?
It's going to be hard to see here as we go under a tree. We're going to see that car come back out from that driveway from using that sidewalk. Hopefully LAPD was able to get around that car as well, and we're continuing northbound now on Crenshaw. Really excessive rates of speed. Definitely unsafe for this neighborhood. If you're in the mid-city area, just stay off the roads if you can and lock your doors, because you don't know if this driver may try to jump out of the car. If he gets stuck, that could definitely lead to a very dangerous situation. It looks like LAPD taking no chances. They're getting around this traffic as well, and those 77th Division officers who've been following this pursuit from the very beginning are staying very close to this vehicle. Now that first patrol car right behind
he's gonna get fucking stuck in traffic, dog.
We may have had some contact
the
here
funniest way,
and that silver Nissan over there on the right
the
side.
funniest way to
and
just
it looks like this driver almost in a panic now, and a truck maybe getting involved, possibly blocking him in. This truck.
There ain't no
it's
way!
hard to tell if this truck is trying to get involved or if this is just accidental.
It's absolutely
but the suspect driver is almost pinned in there. You can see LAPD.
The fucking, of course, a truck owner, dude. Of course, a fucking Chevy Silverado owner's like, I'll be the hero, brother. Oh,
just a concerned citizen. LAPD has guns drawn, and the suspect has their hands out of the window, and hopefully, after we saw this pursuit go...
Bro, I would never do that for one reason, okay? Not because, like, it'll fuck your car up or anything, but most importantly because, like, you'll get shot by the LAPD. You know what I mean?
There, but I'm also kind of concerned for that.
Like, get the fuck out of that car, brother. You are about to get riddled with bullets. Yep, there it is.
They're telling him to get out. They're telling him to get out. And these LAPD officers have to also be concerned of the drivers that were going southbound.
Yeah, you never want to be downrange of the Los Angeles Police Department, okay?
And get out of the way because there's the
issue of
buddy. If officers have to use their weapons for any reason, they want to make sure that there's nobody in harm's way. And you can see that suspect not using the door for some reason and climbing out of the window, hands on the pavement, and he's going to continue trying to climb out of the window. That would be a very unusual way for officers to tell a suspect to get out of the vehicle, but you never know.
Maybe they actually don't know how to get out of the cars. Every now and then you get into a car and you can't figure out where the handle is to get out of the car.
Not on a fucking Mercedes-Benz, lady. What are you saying?
Get out of the car so quickly, because it looks like his pants are stuck there, and
bro, he's twerking, dog. He's twerking.
Vehicle, that's for sure.
That's a thick boy.
Stuck at this point in LAPD. They may be using this other vehicle on the top right of the frame to try and get a little bit closer to the suspect and use the vehicle as a source of cover. They're going to use the door to get a little bit closer and hopefully either grab the suspect and bring him into custody that way, or at least get close enough to be able to see if the suspect is actually stuck or if he's dealing with something else.
Right, and he may be under the influence. That is always a possibility, and we did see him throw one gun out of the vehicle. They do not know if he has any other weapons in that vehicle, so they have to take every precaution possible. It is odd that the suspect is climbing out the window. We do wonder why he didn't just open the door.
This is kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Like, pretty hilarious.
Clearly thought it was going to be
things
much
end
easier,
this way.
Exit as well. Did not realize they'd be stuck right there on the windowsill of the. I mean, I can't.
Cops are like, first time, brother. Cops, when they notice how thick he is,
it can't get out.
Realize that they're like, oh, he's just like me.
There's a lot of people in danger this afternoon, so.
No, I'm just saying in general how you can get the officers are trying to figure out how do we get you out of there without putting our lives at risk as well.
It's a precarious and almost.
Bro, what do you mean? How do we get him out of there? Look at him. What's he gonna do? Fucking. What is he gonna? He's literally stuck, dog. You're so crazy. Like, what? You think he has a gun on his foot? What if he knows gun kendo?
They're in front of him, but he does appear to be stuck. So definitely an almost embarrassing situation for this suspect to be in. LAPD working on what their plan is going to be. I thought for a moment they were going to use that car on the right side as a shield to try and get close to the suspect and help him that way. But it looks like
he's stuck harder than... dude, he's doing fucking reverse hypers, dude. Oh.
To exit the vehicle in a proper manner, or at least find a way to...
his pants are down.
Help him crawl out of the vehicle.
Bro, he's got an ass gun. He's got an ass gun. Look alive.
Here he is coming through. He's making.
He's crawling out.
Oh! Okay, this guy's the GOAT. This guy's the GOAT. This guy's the fucking GOAT. I love this guy.
It's highly unusual. It does appear that this suspect may be under the influence of something because this is just not normal behavior. He's rolling out of the vehicle, crawling on the floor, and LAPD just has to deal with it. And they're going to continue issuing commands with him, and we can only hope that very shortly here, they're going to move in and just take this suspect into custody.
Look, the best possible thing about this is that he is cooperating.
Exactly.
He has.
Why are the cops not moving in? Like, what do you think he has? Bro is arresting himself because the cops won't do it? Like, what is happening here at this point? Like, why haven't they moved in? Oh my God, the Cyberpunk fucking 2.0 update hasn't fixed the cop glitch, dude. Oh my God, the cops are still glitching in Cyberpunk 2.0. What the fuck? I thought they fixed this. They think he has fentanyl? Pocket fentanyl. Watch out, brother. Pocket fentanyl, brother. I actually don't understand why they still haven't arrested him.
On the 110 North, where the suspect actually threw a gun out of the freeway, and we are out of the vehicle onto the freeway, and we were actually able to zoom in and confirm that it was a weapon. And we did see something else thrown out of the vehicle a little bit later on, and then of course that exchange with a bystander near the Crenshaw Boulevard off-ramp from the 10. Surely LAPD will be meeting with that individual to see what that was all about, and now that leads to this the conclusion of this pursuit on Crenshaw Boulevard in Mid-City, where LAPD continues to have to treat this suspect as armed and dangerous, and now they have to also understand that he's possibly under the influence, so that may lead to erratic behavior. So that may be why LAPD is being fairly cautious with this, taking things very methodically and slowly, issuing commands, and then when they have the appropriate teams in place to move in and arrest this suspect.
Dude, LAPD's so bad. They literally needed the guy in the Tacoma to fucking apprehend this guy, which is pretty funny, because the guy in the Tacoma is going to come back and just, like, handcuff him. You know what I mean? The guy in the Tacoma is going to come back and be like, all right, I'll do it, you fucking idiots.
You know, high traffic, high commuter time, people trying to get home with their kids or leave work or do whatever they need to do. But Crenshaw's a busy road, and so
here those officers come. They're going to clear the vehicle. They're going to make sure
Look,
that no
like,
one else or nothing else of a dangerous capacity is in and around the vehicle. They're going to open the trunk, and now they're moving in from their vehicles towards the suspect.
Look at the way they're moving.
They're going to grab one arm, they're going to grab the other arm, slap the cuffs on, and bring this to a conclusion. We're just glad from how erratically this pursuit got at the very end. We're just glad nobody else was hurt except for maybe this
when they saw how thumb-like and fat he was, they were like, we can't arrest him, he's one of us.
Well, again, we're happy to see this come to an end, especially by the way that the suspects certainly changed their driving attitude. And he's really agitated right now, still yelling at the officers. We don't know what he's saying, but again, it really changed, going very, within the speed limit on the freeway, and then just...
We were all concerned it was really going to escalate further and someone would be hurt. And we do believe that there was contact with another vehicle. Gabe Santos in Air 7 HD, thank you so much for your coverage of this. And Bruce Thomas, as always, thank you for your insight.
All right. Well, now we're going to be moving on for more news right now at 4 o'clock. Other news, all eyes are on Hollywood today as we await the outcome of negotiations between the Writers Guild of America and major studios.
Both sides are back at the bargaining table trying to resolve a months-long standoff that's brought the entire industry to a halt.
I genuinely don't get why this happened in the way that it happened. But back to the motherfucking dress code in the Senate.
Shirt and shorts, which Republican Senator Rick Scott told me he thought was inappropriate. Tonight, a Senate known for its buttoned-up image is in an uproar over this change. He's 6'8", weighs about 270, and walks around the Senate halls with a hoodie and shorts on. And he isn't a tourist. Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, whose choice of attire has forced him to vote.
Maybe Republicans are just scared because he looks like he's doing January 6th again.
From the doorways.
Like John Fetterman in the Senate gives them whiplash because they feel like he's doing January 6th every time he walks in.
rather than on the Senate floor under the Senate's previous unwritten dress code. Today was seen proudly wearing those casuals while presiding over the Senate.
The senator from Texas.
Now that Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has relaxed the dress code. Almost every Republican senator has signed a letter spearheaded by Florida Senator Rick Scott calling on Schumer to keep enforcing the code.
This has got to change back. We've got to have decorum. We've got to dress the way the American public would expect their U.S. senators to dress.
Republican Senator Chuck Grassley saying it stinks. Senator John Kennedy saying,
I don't like it.
And Republican Senator Susan Collins joking, quote, I plan to wear a bikini tomorrow to the Senate floor. Some Democrats seem reluctant to criticize the change. Do you think it should be changed?
I just think there's a whole lot more important things for us to worry about. So I'm fine, as long as people cover all the private parts.
I think you can have respect for the institution without a formal dress code, so long as individual members take personal responsibility for upholding decorum.
But Republicans are pressing, even on the House side.
But you're going to change all the Senate rules simply so someone could wear.
What is happening? How are these guys making this a bigger deal than it actually is? Bro, who the ever-loving fuck cares? Are you joking? Like, do your fucking jobs, man. This is not it, okay? Do the job that you're supposed to do. Who cares?
I mean, that's embarrassing.
Fetterman today firing back, saying, quote, if those jagovs in the House stop trying to shut our government down and fully support Ukraine, then I will save democracy by wearing a suit on the Senate floor next week. And telling MSNBC on Monday.
The right have been losing their mind. They're just like, oh my God, aren't there more important things we should be talking about rather than if I dress like a slob?
While some senators like Kyrsten Sinema often dress with flair, the Senate has expected business attire for centuries, with men understood to wear a suit and tie and women covering their arms. A senator without a tie would immediately leave the floor and fix the mistake. And Ronald Reagan famously would rarely set foot in the Oval Office without a coat and tie. One analyst says decorum has its place, but right now,
we're heading headlong into what may be a sustained government shutdown. This is a distraction. This is a tempest in a hoodie.
Now, even Senator Fetterman says he's not sure if he'll always take advantage of the new rules. Fetterman was recently quoted as saying it's nice to have the option, but that he's planning on using the new dress code sparingly and not overusing it. Wolf?
Right, Todd, thanks for that report.
In the halls of the Senate,
I'm losing my mind.
Old customs, they die hard, but all but 3 Republican senators have now published a letter to the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, criticizing his decision there to relax the chamber's dress code. That move was seen, at least, in response to Senator John Fetterman's preference for wearing.
I'm not kidding. I feel like this is a psyop to make the Republicans look like incredibly fucking annoying and out of touch. Like, I can't help but feel like this is 5D chess or something, because they are reacting in the stupidest way possible. Absolutely zero human beings would legitimately care about this.
Shorts and a hoodie, and there he is on the screen, looking as comfortable as ever. You've covered Capitol Hill for a long time. I've been in those halls. I remember, having to wear a jacket even when it's 100 degrees outside in D.C. What do you make about this squabble over the dress code on Capitol Hill?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy, because as you know, seeing me in the halls, I wear a tie and jacket.
You are always dressed to the nines, Chris
every
Wallace.
day. Maybe not Saturdays, but almost all the time. Look, maybe there's some bending. I know that business casual has become the fashion or whatever, but really, in the United States Senate, a hoodie and shorts and sneakers?
Yeah, so what? Who cares? Who cares? I had a libbed up friend of mine to say to me, this brings us one step closer to idiocracy. I just, don't. I'm thinking about it, and it's if a Republican did this, the Democrats would react in an identical way. But how would I react? I'm thinking it's I think I'd probably say the same shit. Who cares? Fucking who cares? If anything, I feel like the suits have shielded them to make it seem like it's a serious body. When in fact, these people are incredibly fucking stupid. It gives them this it gives them this air of like authority because they're dressed all the time. Meanwhile, they're fucking morons. You know what I mean? They're fucking assholes. So I hope more people actually, dress up in the silliest little fits.
I'm not easily offended, and I mean, if they're going to go on this way, it's not the end of the republic. But gee, it does seem to me that saying that Fetterman can dress like that, and then you had Susan Collins, a very proper Republican senator from Maine, say maybe she'll wear a bikini. I actually think that, if it was a question of signing on the line about we need to have some kind of dress code that's a little better than the Fetterman standard, I probably would have signed.
I mean, well, look, to be fair, there have been some Republicans who have dressed down in the Senate, too. There's Ted Cruz. He sometimes likes to wear his workout clothes on the Hill.
I take it back. Dress code now!
Former Senator Richard Burr was sometimes...
Okay, I take it back! Dress code now! I was so wrong. I was so fucking wrong. It's burning my eyes. You never want to see the knees of a man like this, okay? It should be illegal.
In a polo shirt and shorts and
he's got the flippy flops. He's showing feed. He's letting the fucking piggies breathe. No.
And let's be honest. I mean, when it comes to decorum, I don't think the dress code is the problem over on Capitol Hill. This has been a pretty rowdy Congress, if you ask me. I mean, is this just kind of making, hay out of something that doesn't really matter all that much?
Abby, when you start with the tie, it's a slippery slope. I don't know where it goes from there.
Who knows what could happen if, God forbid, you wear shorts. God forbid women wear sleeveless dresses. Capitol Hill, stay the same always. Chris Wallace, you stay the same too. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Abby.
That was literally the age difference. It's like literally generational discourse right there. It's like, who gives a fuck? And he's like, this is, God knows, I'm Chris Wallace, and who knows what is going to happen after the dress code takes away the tie. Senator Manchin is circulating a resolution to reverse Schumer's decision to loosen the Senate dress code. It has bipartisan support and could be filed as soon as today. Wow. Thank God. Guys, thank God there is bipartisan support for this. Finally, Congress is getting his shit together.
We're going to turn now to the latest on the Hollywood writers' strike. Negotiations are resuming between the union and the studios with hope for many workers that there is an end in sight. Zoreen Shah has more from Los Angeles. Good morning, Zoreen.
Good morning, Robin. There could be an end in sight to part of the historic Hollywood strike that has upended the entertainment industry and halted nearly all movie and TV productions. Hollywood writers and studios are reportedly close to an agreement to end the strike that started back in May. The WGA Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers releasing a joint statement overnight that the two groups met yesterday and would meet again today. The talks yesterday were described as encouraging. Still, the writers' union sent a letter to members saying they wanted writers to continue showing up to the picket lines. Writers and actors are looking for better residual pay and higher wages for streaming shows and protection of their likeness from AI. There is still no word on the negotiations surrounding the actors' strike. It is the first time since the 1960s that both the actors and writers' unions have been on strike at the very same time. Just a massive ripple effect on many industries here. Guys.
It truly is, Zoreen, but as you said, it is encouraging. At least it's encouraging.
Yep.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Mr. Zalba, in November, I want to see Dune and Godzilla without guilt. Why would you feel guilty watching a movie? Like, people are not saying don't watch movies, man. That's not a thing. Until they demand that kind of solidarity, which will be ineffective regardless, I think you're fine. Consumerist guilt, yeah, always. Absolutely eviscerated this chicken, dude. Oh, I had a rotisserie chicken with a side of a shepherd salad. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the future of Saudi Arabia. Crown Prince 2023 Mohammed bin Salman, who actually gave the only English-speaking interview to fucking Fox News. He had an interpreter for everybody else, but for Fox News, he spoke in English, apparently. I wonder why.
Good evening. I'm Brett Baer. We are coming to you live from Sindala Island, a very windy Sindala Island in Saudi Arabia on the Red Sea.
He's back doing the red carpet shit, dude. He's doing his whole like charm offensive again. It's been a long enough time since they murked fucking Jamal Khashoggi. So now he's back. He's back to fucking hitting the media. And of course, by the way, predictably, as always, they are fucking taking it. They're hook, line, and sinker, okay? They are literally giving him the greatest press tour of all time. So this is part of the reason why I always laugh at dumb motherfuckers who are like, dude, what? You're defending China and saying it's not fascist? Wow, you must literally fucking be a Nazi Germany defender. It's like, no, I'm not. But have fun with that, I guess. And it's like such a disingenuous take because like, this is the very same media. This is the very same ally that we have. It's not like it's not a real thing. I thought it was Jamal Khashoggi. Wait, yeah, it is. Like, this guy straight up gets to fucking go. Like, people literally, the same liberals who think like China, or the same Republicans especially, that think like China is fucking the most damaging, devastating, scariest country on the fucking planet, will look at Saudi Arabia and go, this is great. Love it. Also, yes, in a cartel with Russia, which is also great. I think you focus so much on that instead of workplace democracy. Man, suck my fucking workplace democratic dick, okay? Suck my dick in a democratic way in the workplace. The fuck do you mean? I think you think about that too much. Yeah, domestic policy and socialism is great, but like I also do a tremendous amount of fucking regular old foreign policy coverage here, okay?
Where it is 1 o'clock Thursday morning. Tonight, an exclusive in-depth interview with one of the most powerful people in the world, Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. We will cover a number of subjects, including U.S. relations with the kingdom, Iran nuclear ambitions, negotiations with Israel, Saudi oil policy, the murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, and the Crown Prince's message to families of victims of the 9/11 attacks. This is the first time he has done an interview completely in English. Usually on Special Report road shows, this is the time we bring you other headlines in the U.S. and around the world. But tonight, there are so many headlines coming out of this interview, we do not want to delay. Here is His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman.
This is the island of Sindala, the first project in NEOM, your Vision 2030. It is spectacular. It is really beautiful. You know, a lot of people have described you as a visionary leader. I talked to a number of your citizens, and that's how they describe you. And you didn't even plant them. That's really how they talk about you. And world leaders are saying the same thing. You've had this transformational change, every aspect of the kingdom, economic, social, cultural, religious. Can you give us some specific examples of what your goals are and how you think all of this is going?
Well, simply, we have in the past few issues in Saudi Arabia and a lot of opportunities that we didn't use. We're trying to capture that and to go forward for a better Saudi Arabia. And that's what we're trying to do.
And it's a big vision.
It is a big vision, and we get like surprised every day that we reach our target faster, and we extend that to a newer target and a bigger ambition. So it's really exciting.
Your ministers say you work them hard.
Well, you can see in 2022 we are the fastest G20 country growing, and also in this year, if you take just the non-oil GDP part, we are the second fastest in the G20 growing. So it's like a fight between Saudi Arabia and India, a good fight.
You're making a transition on trying to get different parts of the economy, not a heavy reliance on oil. The role of women in the society has evolved significantly. you had this 2030. What do you see 10, 20, 30 years for Saudi Arabia?
I will give you an example. If you look to late 70s, Saudi Arabia GDP is bigger than South Korea. And now South Korea, I think it's the 10th or 11th largest GDP in the world in 2016. And in 2016, we are number 20. So that's a shame. In 1980, we was GDP number, I think, 12 globally. And then in 2016, we are number 20. So we believe if Saudi Arabia and really the perfect track, since that time, we will be among the top 7 GDP globally. I'm trying to get Saudi Arabia back on the right track.
You're a data guy.
We can see today. Today we are the largest, number 17 ranked as the largest GDP in the world. But in G20, we are almost ranked number 15 from 20 in just a few years.
The G20, you just mentioned it. You really have become a big player on the world stage. And that G20 rail and ports deal connecting Europe, the Gulf nations, and India, why is that such a big deal?
Logistics is important. If you want to manufacture in your country, if you want to move goods, it's important to have a good logistic plan. You work it with many countries, many regions, to be sure that goods pass in the right time.
Dude, it's like... It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild how great this is, where like American racism takes or even Islamophobia takes a backseat to like America's foreign policy interests. Like, it's kind of cool seeing it in action. You know what I mean? Because like, this is a fucking dude who literally like looks the part of someone that Americans would be like absolutely terrified of. Okay? And he also plays the role of someone who you should be definitely scared of, right? I mean, this dude's got fucking bodies, like directly bodies. This dude has his own family captive. Okay? And it's really interesting to see like people just have him on and be like, this is a head of state. And not like a vicious theocratic monarchy that is currently or was actively engaging in genocide in Yemen. Very interesting thing to see.
For example, that project will cut the time of goods from India to Europe by 3 to 6 days. Cut time, save money, and it's more safer, more efficient. So why not? And it's not about only moving goods and railways and ports. It's also about linking grids, energy grids, data, cables, and other stuff will benefit Europe, Middle East, and also India. And most of these energy, all of these energy going to be a green energy that's going to be produced in the Middle East and being exported to Europe and India. So it's a big deal for us and for Europe and for India.
Also mentioned in this deal is Israel. What would it take for you to agree to normalize relations with Israel?
Well, there is approach from President Biden administration to get to that point. For us, the Palestinian issue is very important. We need to solve that part, and we have good negotiations continue till now. We gotta see where it will go. We hope that it will reach a place that it will ease the life for the Palestinians and get Israel back, as a player in Middle East.
There were reports that you had suspended talks.
No, that's not true.
Not true. So you think, if you were to characterize it, are you close?
Every day we get closer. It seems it's for the first time real one, serious. We gotta see how it goes.
Can you make a deal with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? Is that somebody you can deal with?
Well, in Saudi Arabia policy, we don't interfere of who's running each country, who's there. We work with him. Now we don't have a relation with Israel, but if Biden administration succeeded to make, I believe, the biggest historical deal since the end of the Cold War, then...
Like, okay, one other aspect of this that's also interesting. Like, yeah, sure, Brandon is currently the president, but he's played such a significant role in the OPEC Plus cartel refusing to increase the supply, even though the American government under the Trump administration was very kind and didn't absolutely fucking eviscerate their bottom line, and kept at least purchasing a steady flow of oil, even if they didn't necessarily need it. It's like so, I don't know, it's just so fucking frustrating that, like, even from the perspective of, like, being, like, a patriotic guy, Fox News doesn't see that, like, this man is quite literally for, like, at least one aspect of inflation. Now, it's not personally him as much as, you know, Russia is a part of it too. Remember you having to explain how the Taliban was now Afghanistan's government to those same libs? Yeah, I'm half Saudi, and Saudi state media is 100% pro-Trump. He sees himself as a visionary ruler. Everything he's touched has been an absolute disaster. Yemen, Neom, restoring Saudi leadership in the region. Even the shakedown at the embassy in Turkey is a total fuck-up. Yeah, I mean, the Neom shit's crazy. Not correct. Trump actually fucked over MBS. He got MBS to increase production in 2018 by promising to restrict Iranian oil exports. He didn't do that, and the price crashed. No, wait. I thought we were kind to OPEC during COVID, though. Trump even personally tried to, and this is real, purchase an absolute shit ton of oil, and during COVID to boost our reserves, which actually would have been a good job, and Congress shut him out, which doesn't really matter because Trump still acts like he went and he bought the oil in every interview. 2018 is pre-COVID. I know. I'm saying that, like, it is kind of interesting because he always says, like, I bought oil, I built up our reserves. It's like, no, he tried to. Congress said no to him. Like, they would not allow him to do so. And yet he still acts like he did that.
We got to start a relationship, and that relationship gotta be continuous regardless of who's running Israel. So,
oh my god, people are still fucking losing their minds, dude. Look at this. China is in a whole slew of insults to a single reputation. China is an authoritarian state that uses impressive media control apparatus to lock down information in the country and force consent in their populace. The U.S. is bad. We manufacture consent in a better way, but we still do it. But China is not good. No state is good. They're all oppressive structures. Okay, never mind. I actually don't necessarily disagree with this. But at least according to the United States of America, confidence from the Chinese people in their own government is significantly higher than confidence in the American government from its own people. One is 30%, the other one's like 90%. Even if you think that 90% number is like completely massaged by a complete control over the media apparatus or whatever the fuck, or genuine fear, you know, what percentage is it? Like, is it that effective? It must be the most effective brainwashing mechanism on the planet, which you could technically immediately find out if it's true or not by talking to a Chinese person. Even though many of them are legitimately fearful, at least in my experience, of Americans and their perspective on China, which is why more often than not, they just won't say anything. Because if you are like a straight up Chinese person living on U.S. soil or living in the Western world, conversations I've had where Chinese people literally think I'm joking with them and being sarcastic and shitting on them when I talk about China in like on even grounds. They're shocked.
Damn, this guy's good.